This lady thinks that walking your dog in public is rooted in white supremacy. Are we going to lose brain cells watching this video? Probably, but let's do it anyway. This is a new channel for me, so please like and subscribe. I'm Martin, and in about 2 months I'm going to be a vet. Let's watch the first bonkers video, which is dogs equal white supremacy?
The expectation that your dog be allowed in any and all public spaces is a manifestation of white supremacy, and I need you to just stick with me for a second. Because we know that the majority of pet owners are white, and the majority of the pets that they own are dogs. And so therefore, white people are saying to black and brown people, and black people specifically, that it doesn't matter what your cultural feelings or understanding or practices are around animals. Our understanding is what is most important, and we assert our right to put that on you in public spaces. And that black.
Okay, so I'm not sure if this is rage bait or if this is a genuine opinion, but if it is rage bait, then I have been baited. But if it is a genuine opinion, the first thing I'm thinking is, you're not busy, babe. You're not busy. You're not booked, you're not busy. You have not got enough going on in your life. If you are doing mental gymnastics, you're doing round off, backward somersault, just to try and glom on racism to dogs, to dog ownership, to walking your dog in public. If you are looking around the world going, how do I make this about white supremacy? You are not busy enough. You are not busy. You need some hobbies. You need some friends. This would be my immediate thought.
That assertion ignores the ways that black people have been harmed by animals, particularly dogs in this country, and particularly during the civil rights movement. And so then when you bring your dog to the coffee shop and the Pilates studio and the pottery class, what you're saying is, I don't respect, care about, or understand the history and the trauma that you might have experienced with dogs. It also says that I don't care about maybe allergies that you have, or just like a preference that you have about.
The argument doesn't really even make any sense. And I see this a lot with these sort of crazy people, let's say, where they have, I've got a point, which is point A, and then therefore conclusion. And they've pulled the conclusion out of anywhere, out of their behind. It is not a logical, critical way of thinking of, I've got this point, therefore conclusion, therefore white supremacy. And so what she's done is she said, oh, the dogs in public place are an issue, and then lists private enterprises. The Pilates studio, the coffee shop, the pottery studio, for effing sake. Raise your hand if you've ever been to a pottery studio, but if you've ever seen a dog in a pottery studio, you throw in some shapes with the clay and there's just dogs everywhere. It's just not a thing. And it's disingenuous to claim that there's a public dog issue and use private enterprises as your example. It's just not real. And dogs don't have access to public space anyway, or willy-nilly. It's just not a thing. Like, I used to live on a beachfront and we had a dog that was a beach dog, but like a beach area where you could have dogs, a beach area where you couldn't have dogs, a beach where you could have dogs, a beach where you couldn't have dogs. There was an area where dogs had to be kept on the lead. There was an area where dogs could be let off the lead. So the premise that dogs are allowed everywhere in society and in public anyway, I don't buy. I'm not picking up what you're putting down. That's what I'm saying.
Preference that you have about being around animals. And I think that's some white people shit to say that we don't have to care about anybody.
I think that's some white people shit. I think that's some white people shit. That's a really odd thing to say. That's a really odd thing to say. I think another thing about this is the effort to make this a race thing is really bizarre. She's almost talking, she's saying white people and who like the dogs and want the dogs in public, and she's saying non-white people. The idea that there aren't non-white people who love dogs is absurd. The idea that all white people are a monolith is absurd, that like dogs, and the idea that all non-white people are a monolith and don't like dogs and don't vibe, and therefore it's an issue, is absurd. It's absurd, and it's really telling that that's the way she seems to move through the world and look through the world. Oh, this seems to be a white hobby, or this is a non-white hobby. It's a really, I don't think it's a healthy way to move through the world. I don't think it's a healthy way to interact with people. What I'm seeing is she's got a preference, she's got an individual preference, and she's painting that on to the monolith of non-white people. And I think that's It's a little bit racist, actually. Is it racist? It is. I think we might have to stamp this lady with a, you bonkers, and you a little bit racist.
Or their safety in a space. It's all just about what I want and what I want as a pet owner. And also it says to me that you care more about the feelings and the perspective and the needs of an animal than you do over humans, right? And as much as...
Okay, I'm so over this. I'm so over this video. This is it's a crazy opinion. But I'm going to put on my stethoscope for this bit because it gives me more legitimacy. But dogs have been a part of human evolution for millennia. They are the animal that we have evolved with closest and earliest in our history. Like, it is a symbiotic development. I think it's something like 20,000 years ago was the first sort of domestication of dogs. I want to check that for you guys. Dog domestication began 26 to 19,000 years ago. Like, so assuming that's, you know, of a superficial Google, assuming that's correct, but it sort of tracks with what I remember learning in university. That's a long time that we have evolved with doggos. This idea that it's not a part of our society is crazy. Like our world society, as a species, we are very connected with dogs, more so than other species. And the gap from when we domesticated dogs to when we domesticated the next animal is massive. Superficial Google, sheep, goats, pigs, 10,000 years ago, along with cats. So we're talking 20, 25,000 years, a 10, 15 year gap, 1,000 year gap, and then other animals. The idea that dogs are not intrinsically linked with us and our development as a species is crazy. So for you to jump to 2026 and be like, oh, dogs equal white supremacy, I think you should go to that pottery studio. I think you should take that Pilates class. I think you need a hobby. Okay, I'm done with this video. And let me know in the comments what you think. Let me know, do you think the expectation to walk your dog down the street is linked to white supremacy? Or just more broadly, do you think we have a good balance in the way that we deal with animals in public in our society? Thank you for watching my first video of this type of content. Please remember to like and subscribe. It would mean the world to me to have your support. And I will see you when another bonkers animal video comes up on my For You page that I want to share my 2 cents about.